We're here at the Aion booth at Gamescom. Can you please tell us who you are and what you do in Aion?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Volker. I'm the product director for Aion Europe Free-to-Play, and I'm taking care of the overall business of Aion, so making sure that the team can run efficiently, that things get done, things get planned, and just responsible for everything essentially.
Can you please tell us how did the launch of Rio go? That happened just a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
it started on the 14th.
Yes, it started 14th, like shortly before midnight. We had announced it for the 15th, and we were able to launch it a bit earlier than expected. So it's been running very well so far. Players are on the server right now. We're still having some minor issues, like we had to take one of the servers into emergency maintenance because the hardware was acting up, but that's been resolved by now. And we've still got a list of issues that we're tracking and looking to resolve as quickly as possible. But 3.0 is running live on the servers now. Players are playing and everything's looking really good so far.
Is the atmosphere on the servers livelier? Are there more players playing than before the patch?
There are a lot of players that are coming back now, of course. But even before the patch, actually, and I talked about that with a couple of people who said that so many players had left before 3.0. Actually, looking at the numbers we have about CCUs and player activity, it actually was pretty much the same during the last weeks and months. So it didn't fall as much as players are perceiving.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's something we found out yesterday, is that people were just, because the high-end content they finished, so they would start like new characters. So all the players would spread out more across the existing zones and not be in the high-end content. But so yeah, player numbers are going up right now, and we're only just now starting like retention and marketing activities. So hopefully we're going to see an increase over the coming days and weeks.
How's the housing doing? Are people buying lots of houses?
It's going very well. I've spoken to one player today at the stage show. He was very happy that he had a house now and also put a bed and everything into it. I don't have any statistics yet on how much houses we've already given away in the game, but I'll probably get that during the next weeks. But so far, players seem to be really enjoying it.
The same patch launched in the North American market quite a while ago, in
like
February.
In February, yeah.
Can you tell us why did it take so long to launch in Europe? We do know that you had to localize all the content, but is that process that lengthy, or are there other factors why it took so long?
Yeah. Well, in general, as you say, it's more complex to localize into multiple languages. So of course that takes some more time. We're trying to always parallelize the localization process as much as possible. But especially with Aion, because we'd only just started to run Aion, there were a lot of issues that we came across that we didn't know about yet because the system was new to us. So unfortunately that delayed the localization process more than we would have wished for. So finally now we've got the update online. We're really happy about that. Also, one of the things we're going to patch into in the coming weeks is the localized voiceovers. So currently it's all running on English still, so everyone can understand it, but we'll get the localized versions there as well. And also just polishing the text still. But in general, of course, as I said, additional languages makes it more complex to translate. New project makes it very difficult as well to figure out all the nooks and crannies of the system. And then there's always the additional communication required with the developers to build the patches, to integrate the language files, then to test it, to figure out that, suddenly the French texts are all displayed in the wrong color, find out what the problem is, and do it all again. So that's all these things came together, which eventually in the end caused that delay. So we've learned very much from that process. And as I already said on the forums as well, we're really aiming to make sure that future updates will come much sooner, so with much less delay than we've seen with 3.0 now. And we're going to continually improve that. So my personal wish would be that at some point in the very far future, we're able to release at the same time as Korea. That would be the theoretical perfect scenario, but just minimizing that delay as much as possible. That's what we're striving for now after 3.0.
I think the community would appreciate that much more than anything else. It feels as if the community are feeling like they're second-grade players when compared to some other markets. Talking to you here, that doesn't seem be the case? Can you comment on that?
No, absolutely not. I mean, in terms of the support that we get from NCSoft in Korea, it's the same for all the territories. So we don't get any information or any updates any later than other publishers. We get the language resources at the same time. We get the patch building support that we need for everything. So that's absolutely the same across all territories, be it American, Russian, Chinese, etc., etc.
Okay.
And that's also something that, you know, the delay that was caused with 3.0 was really happening on our side and not in any way forced upon us by NCSoft. So, and as I said, you know, we've learned a lot, and we're really going to get future updates a lot quicker out there. And it's also, I've heard concerns that, you know, the team that we're having that's working on the updates and everything is small, and I can't tell you how many people we actually have, but it is not. Actually, within Gameforge, I think we've been pulling resources from all other projects, all other products to support 3.0, to get it out earlier, to get it out before Gamescom even. So we're really doing everything we can also in terms of team and personnel to make sure that we have what we need to get the updates out. Now with the learnings we have, with the resources we have, fingers crossed, future updates will come much, much quicker.
That's good to hear from a person that's in charge of making that happen.
It's my responsibility in the end, and I'm doing the best I can to make sure that future updates are quicker. And in general, you know, all the problems that we're having right now that we did have, or the things we still want to do, get done.
There are player concerns that the population of some of the servers is not satisfactory, and there have been calls for server mergers or at least server transfers, which we know from the history of Aion is not an easy thing to do. That's number one, and then it can cause discrepancies in the numbers of Asmodean and Helios players.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing from the inside, where you have access to all the numbers?
Yeah.
And are you planning on merging any of the servers?
Okay. Well, first of all, currently we don't have any plans to merge any servers at the moment. We know the basic principle of it, and we're prepared to go to that step if we really deem it necessary. At the moment, essentially, as you said, it's two issues to look at. One is the general server population. Are there enough players to have fun, to group with, to PvP with? And as I explained before, with 3.0 we've got a lot of new high-end content coming in, so all the high-level players will join together on that content, so you'll see a much more focus in these user groups. Also, we're probably going to get a lot of people returning. You know, they have left the game because they haven't had anything to do anymore. Just people coming back to enjoy the game again. So we're also expecting servers to fill up again with the 3.0 update. Now, of course, this is always something you have to look at long term. So once people have gone through the 3.0 content, chances are higher that they may decide to try out a different game to then return in the future at some point. And that always has an impact on the overall server population. But we're really hopeful that with 3.0 being such a massive update with huge contents, huge new features, we can attract a lot of players back into the game. And the other point you mentioned is the server balance in terms of race balance. So we're looking at that closely and we're monitoring it. So far we haven't seen any massive discrepancies. Of course, there's always some more as Helios, some more as Modians, is always back and forth. Some servers are a bit more critical in terms of what the balance is, others are a bit more even. So that's definitely one of the focus points for after 3.0. We will be looking at that more closely, also with the new players that come in through 3.0, and just see how it develops. But we're definitely having an eye on it, and an eye on it. And we're going to try and make sure that that doesn't create any problems, because PvP endgame is really important to the players and also to us for long-term player stickiness. So we have to make sure that the experience in that high area is something good.
That's the Aion bread and butter.
Exactly.
The endgame PvP.
Absolutely.